Hey, it's Dayton Hamvention, and Max and I are going to go out and do a boneyard tour. He's behind the camera, I'm in front of the camera. We're going to take turns, and it'd be great. Stay tuned. What am I hoping to find? There's a whole shove and get that recorder in. Get out, so let's pretend more. More people here camping out, doing those kind of things, whereas if you go to one at like Hamcation or even Huntsville, you're going to see different people. Huntsville's all inside, so that has a different vibe to it as well. What am I looking for here in the Dayton Boneyard? I am specifically looking for high frequency. I'm talking about like 5 gigahertz and 10 gigahertz antennas to go with one of my radios. I also like to just look for old cool tech that I can display or put up, and then microphones. If I see a really interesting microphone, I'll probably grab that too.
So what am I looking for at the Dayton Hamvention Flea Market? Well, I flew, so I can really only bring stuff that can fit in my carry-on or in a checked piece of luggage. So just small bits and bobs here and there, stuff I don't have, test equipment, you know, just basically stuff I can fit in my pocket.
Resistance is futile over here. Wireless access point kind of thing. Okay. Oh, look at that old school calculator with the Nixie tubes in it. That's cool. A whole subgenre here of people who get into military equipment. Never been my super interest, but you do see a lot of it. This would be the kind of place where you would go and pick some of that stuff up.
Something new at a lot of the Hamvention booths is people that will take PayPal and Venmo.
Yes, which means if you got your own little PayPal or Venmo account, your wife or spouse might not know they're actually spending money on this stuff. So I didn't tell you that, but that's the way you could do that.
Actually got
these old Motorola microphones. These things, you can't kill them, right? It's like like having an old dial-up phone. You slam that sucker down, and nothing's gonna break it. Frequency counter. So nice old HP frequency counter that works. That's very cool. Can anybody identify that? That is a lineman's butt set. So the guy who used to fix your phone would climb onto the pole with a couple alligator clips. He'd hook that up and he'd make test calls with this. So it's just be hanging on his belt. Here's the more modern version. This one has the actual alligator clips and it's touch tone too. So that's high end right there.
These are pretty cool if you want to feel like a special investigator. These old microcassette recorders. They're usually built pretty well. You might need to swap the belts on them, but just a cool piece of old tech that, you know, you'd pay probably triple this on eBay.
Yep. It's a memory right there. Is that memory?
The thing in the case?
Yeah.
It is a missile guidance computer.
Oh, okay. So that is
to both carry out and survive thermonuclear war.
Is that ground equipment or space equipment?
It's off of, I believe, an Atlas F missile.
So it's from the missile
space
itself.
equipment, yeah.
Yeah, it's made by Bosch Arma.
Awesome.
Nice, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Here you go. If you want to play Mission Impossible at home, you can get that recorder and it will self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Good luck, Ethan. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
No, I'm sure yours works great, but
Well, I mean, given the condition of the belt after this amount of time, it may have already self-destructed.
well, that's true too. So before your watch would calculate how far you walked, you wore one of those on your belt, and it would just calculate how many times you bounced, and that would calculate your distance. The New Haven pedometer.
So it rained this morning, which means that the entire outside flea market is covered in mud. So one of the cons of an outdoor flea market, but one of the pros is that there's just so many more people here than you would get at an indoor venue like the Huntsville Ham Fest.
Yep. Lots of things you see at Dayton and other Hamfests is that not just individuals will come out, but clubs will come out. Lots of times they're selling silent key stuff, or they've just got a bunch of stuff in their inventory that they need to get out. So we've got the Sussex Amateur Radio Association here. They are selling and got some really unique stuff that you can check out.
So my personal favorite thing to pick up at Hamfest is coax. This is something that's going to cost you a lot of money if you go to Gigaparts or DX Engineering to buy new, but it's going to cost you significantly less to buy from great people like this.
This is DX Engineering's 400 mag,
Yeah,
equivalent to like an LMR 4.
yeah. And so for 150 feet, you're asking how much?
75 cents a foot.
75 cents a foot. And DX Engineering will charge you somewhere around $1.40. Yeah, $1.49. So you're saving 50% of the cost just by buying it here right now. Something that, DX Engineering would probably have to custom cut for you at whatever length. You can just buy from a Hamvention flea market.
Thank you.
Sure.
So this is pretty cool because Kenwood is one of the few companies that'll make 220 megahertz HTs. So if you have 220 in your area.
Absolutely. And the other piece is it's a good way to get into a solid HT for a lower price too. You come here, test it out, and be ready to go. And a new Kenwood right now, there's only the THD 75. That one's going to be over $600. So if you really want to get into a name brand handheld at a relatively low price, this is a good way to think about it.
Yeah, so a multimeter. I talked about test equipment. This is a great piece of equipment. It's from a somewhat real brand. It has all kind of the multimeter features you might want, but you might not get from like an Ace Hardware or a Home Depot multimeter. And how much are you asking for this?
Come on, Dad, 15.
15.
You can make me an offer.
Let me see if there's some other stuff I might buy here and we can do a bundle or something. That sounds good to me.
All right.
All right,
There you go. Have fun.
and 25.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, so I talked about getting stuff from my hands. Multimeter will fit in my carry-on bag, no problem, as will these connectors. And you never know when they come in handy, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm Tom, W-A-R-H,
Hi, Tom. Nice to meet you.
and thanks to you,
Yeah.
after the third try, I got the extra.
Third try for extra. Okay. It wasn't all three tries with us, was it?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
you were what put me over the edge.
Great.
I just want to let you know. Thank you.
Come by the booth and get a success pin.
I will do. Thank
All
you.
right. Great. Congratulations.
It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And this guy's next on the extra list.
All right. Good luck.
Rich, thank you.
Thanks.
Now that's a familiar company, but not in this sector. It's a Zoom video communications hardware device.
Holy smokes, that's a
radar. And
Yeah, that would be.
is it just the antenna or is it the whole radar? The whole thing?
Detect aliens.
aliens? Okay, so you came out of Roswell.
So if you need a pretty what looks like a high-power radar system from a real brand.
Yep.
Dayton
That's
Hamvention
definitely
Flea
it.
Market.
Yep. No, these are for repeaters. These are duplexers. So you can keep your input out of your output or your output out of your input on your repeater. So these are very fine signal filters to do that. This is actually 150 megahertz, but the same principle applies for 2 meters. So repeater gear is here as well. Tim, nice to see you. Thank you for studying with us.
You see a lot of interesting things in the flea market, but something new to me, at least, after seeing here, is weather balloon tracking gear. So this is a hobby within the hobby of amateur radio, so to speak, but even non-hams do it, where the National Weather Service and NOAA launch high-altitude balloons with weather sondes that go up and probe the atmosphere every 12 hours in a bunch of different locations across the United States. And so every 12 hours, one of these balloons goes up with one of these harmless weather instruments, and it collects weather data, and it comes back down. But what's interesting is they use UHF frequencies.
Oh, yeah.
It's ISM, so it's 433 megahertz or so. And so what you can do as a ham, or what anybody can do that can receive, is you can use one of these small trackers that pairs to your phone with an app, and you can receive the weather sonde information, and then go pick it up. And then you have one. And there's a bunch of different use cases for these. You can pick up a radio sonde and reprogram some of them to be on EPRS or other UHF frequencies. And so it's a really interesting niche of the amateur radio hobby.
Some of my ham radio friends, I've only been a ham for a couple of years, thanks to you guys, got me started weather balloon chasing. There's a whole group of us in central Iowa. They have a group IO page, and we share information and get together. And so I decided I'd start building them, and got a 3D printer in January and tweaked the case to the way we like it. And so now I build these and sell these at Ham Fest in the Midwest and on eBay. And then I had guys asking me to build cases because they had the circuit boards but never had anything to put it in. Then I started doing some color coordination. This is the Iowa Hawkeye case and the Iowa State Cyclone case here. So, and I've done some other 3D printing stuff in the ham area, rails and Raspberry Pi. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A month ago, we tracked the balloon. We were going to try to record it landing. And so we took off and headed east of my town in Iowa. And we were setting up on the gravel road, and we locked onto the balloon 10 miles away.
Yeah.
And we were right on the gravel road as it came over top of us, and it was cloudy, so we couldn't see it. Landed half a mile to the east of us, but we almost had the perfect chase going on in order to see it land.
It's almost a fool's errand to try and see a balloon landing, but it's what everybody chases. I was gonna say, what's your favorite story from these weather balloon recoveries? If you have one.
Probably that one's. It's pretty hilly country and where we're at, so you end up on some pretty good hikes up. Then I belong to the National Radio Sonde group on Facebook, and you see some tremendous pictures and stuff from guys that hike up the mountains and take their four-wheelers and motorcycles up chasing down sonde. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, there's a cool, interesting hobby that Tim got into because he got his license with Ham Radio Pro.
How's it going? Hey, did you take your test? Want to take my test? Yeah, weren't you going to take a test today? Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else then. Oh, okay. Have a great afternoon. Yeah, we'll see you around. All right.
This is actually a grocery store skew jar.
Oh, I used to use these when I worked at a pharmacy. Beep, beep, beep. Yep. Needs 5 of those, 10 of those, or refill the shelf on these. Yep.
So in a lot of MCOM radio setups, you might just have a rack that has a bunch of different radios of a bunch of different bands. Mm-hmm. So you can go from multiple different repeaters on the same band.
Yep. One thing that might be good for is a crossband repeater system. So there's groups in Atlanta that will do linked repeaters. So one radio could be tuned into someplace in Peachtree City, and another one could be north of town. And using these, they can link the repeaters up, so it's all like one big network as they do things like Skywarn activations.
Yeah.
Cat 200 repeater controller that I built into the old rack mount
Oh, wow.
receiver for a 900 megahertz paging.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Just like the
A cool piece of homemade tech that
I work. I mean,
yeah,
neat rates on there.
and something you can buy off the shelf.
Right.